Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sex and Happiness, a show about your sex and your happiness. I'm Laurie Handlers,
And I'm Michael Gibson.
and today we're doing something new. He hasn't told me what we're doing yet.
She has no idea.
What are we doing?
We're actually going to be doing something that I think is going to be fun. And being this is the very first time you've ever done it,
Yeah,
I think it's also going to be a little bit surprising. What
I'm
we're-
not great with surprises, Michael.
I know I should have told you.
I've been surprised very badly in my life before.
Okay. Let me explain it to you. Okay. Today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a video clip
I watched with one eye.
from somebody that I love and Lori loves, and you interviewed her at one point, and she's a person who I absolutely love. I think she is brilliant. And
Oh, Alison Armstrong. I'm
25.
guessing. I guessed. Did I guess right?
Guessed right. 20 for the last 25 plus years, Allison has been at the forefront of the technology and an understanding of men and women and how we interact and how we're different and how we're the same and how our conversations and languages affect each other. And she's also looked at some of the deeper stuff. So this is going to be about a 3-minute clip. But what
Okay.
you and I are going to do is we're going to give real reactions to what we're seeing on video. And then we're going to stop and we're going to talk about it a little bit and see if there's anything interesting that we can add to it. So without further ado,
Look, there we are.
When a man says, I don't care, it doesn't mean he's too stupid to know he should care. It doesn't mean he's too lazy to care. It means he is assessed that the amount of energy it takes to care is too much energy. He's decided that's too costly to care about. I'm unwilling to care. Because caring is actually an expenditure of energy.
all right, I got to ask, what do you think about that? Is that true?
Yeah, I agree with her. I never analyzed that when a man says he doesn't care. I haven't scrutinized a man who said, I don't care. The men that I hang out with don't say
They
that.
don't talk like that.
Men I hang out with don't say, I don't care. They care so much.
So there are things that I don't care about. And those things that I don't care about, really, I have no energy for that. That's a truism, what she's just said.
Yeah,
But I don't say that I don't care.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with what she's saying. I have no issue with it. And I hang around with you and men who care greatly about things.
Right.
Man says, I care about you. He's telling you he's expending his own energy on you. He's spending his energy, precious energy. He cares about you. That emotion of caring costs him something. They do it very carefully, and sometimes it's really bad news. I know a woman whose boyfriend keeps saying, what's the plan in caring? Well, when I saw you, I thought, oh, jeez. I wasn't excited about it. He knew how much energy it was going to take.
I've got to say something about this.
What?
It's a scary thought
Yeah.
when a man falls in love with a woman and he realizes, oh, fuck, I really care about her. Because he knows, it's not that he's trapped. It's that, oh, this is someone I'm going to spend some time with. I'm going to spend energy on.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's that he feels like he's lost some control over his domain.
Right.
Like we used to call it having your nose open. There's a ring in your nose and you're a bull and you're being pulled by.
And it's not like you're trapped. well, this person set that, like, they laid a trap for you
They might
and
have.
you put your foot in the trap and it grabbed you and drug you to the or anything like that. However, we're watching this show called Bridgerton.
And we have seen so much
Oh
manipulation
gosh.
and so much trapping, but I told you that was a different day and age.
And
That's about when women had to compete for men to survive.
right.
In modern day where we live right now, women still compete for men. It's still in their DNA that if they don't have one, they're not going to survive. This is heterosexual people we're talking about
Right.
right now.
And so here's the thing that's really interesting about Bridgerton. Spoiler alert. One of the main characters is in love with the older sister of the younger sister who he's betrothed himself to.
I know.
And he expresses himself to her like, you are the bane of my existence. I'm so in love with you that I don't know what to do with myself. And every time I see you, I'm aching inside. And yet I'm
But marrying your sister.
betrothed to your sister and I'm
Yeah.
going to marry her.
Yeah.
And she's saying the same thing back to him. And so there's a little bit of that, what seems like in these two characters, this, where he's like, oh no, I'm so in love with you. What do I do?
You hate the song When a Man Loves a Woman,
I do.
but it's so true.
It's really, yeah.
When a man loves a woman, can't think about nothing
Nothing
else.
Yeah. So I could see where men, when we fall in love with women or we fall,
But she's saying when a man says, I care about you.
it's the same thing. I care. Like, I care. I'm in love with you. I'm really in love with you.
I know.
Like a lot.
I know.
And so I do care about you. But there's no part of me right now that says, right now, I have to be current, that says, oh, I'm worried about that because I'm 100%.
You worried about it in the beginning,
I
though.
did, yeah.
You-
There was a
You
bit of
were
that.
okay, so let's talk about what you were worried about. And maybe that's what Allison's gonna get to. You were worried about you said to me, don't try to be in a relationship with me. I don't do relationships very well. You said when I'm in a relationship, I get diluted.
That's right.
I don't want to be diluted, so don't try to spend too much time with me. I said, and I said, fine, because I have the same concerns. And so I said, fine, I won't. And I didn't. And that's what
You
made you,
don't.
and that's what made you come forward towards me more. But I didn't, it wasn't like Bridgerton. I didn't plot with my mother and my sisters and my brothers to snag you inadvertently, which some of the mothers on that show do. And intentionally, I didn't do any of that. But I knew how I felt about you. I knew that I cared deeply about you. I knew that you had some special qualities that I had never experienced before. And if you wanted me to be on your terms, I didn't have any problem with that.
And so, wow, that's huge. So
Well, that's very big. Most women don't know how to do that.
a big part of this is that you and I entered into this, I think, differently than we normally would into a relating. And it was because you and I were both on the same level or playing field as far as our boundaries. And we communicated those boundaries from the very beginning. And
neither of us was looking to manipulate those
Right.
boundaries.
so I think,
But I cared a lot. I
I-
really cared a lot about you.
I think that's the thing that men would say if they didn't have an avenue or a way to say, hey, I really care about you and I have to share with you my boundaries, my values, what matters to me, so that this caring actually has a place to go. And some guys are like, oh, no, shit, I care about you. What am I going to do now? My life is ruined.
We should also point out that on Valentine's Day, you said, I don't want to do Valentine's Day. I don't want to be like, don't make me be like all
I hate
those other
Valentine's Day.
guys. I don't want, he said, I don't want to be like all those other guys. I don't want to have to be forced to go to the store, have one hand on flowers, the other hand with a box of chocolates under my arm and with a frown, like the others with a frown on their face. It's obligatory.
Yeah.
You said, don't make me do that. And I said, great. What do you want? And you said, I'd like 100 candles. And I said, I can do that.
And
So-
she put together a beautiful temple with 100 candles.
I did that. That's what you said you
Amazing.
wanted. So there wasn't any chocolate.
Amazing.
There wasn't any flowers, but there was 100 candles and there was Prosecco.
That's right. Good job.
Great. All right, let's watch the rest of Alison.
Okay.
So it's got to be worth it. They're constantly calculating the worth it equation. Is this worth it? Everything that men do for you or don't do for you is going to have to do with this. We suck at having things be understood as worth it.
So what's really interesting about that last statement was she said, we suck at communicating why it's worth it. That last statement was so powerful because and I know she's going to go into her next teaching around it, which, by the way, I would recommend that you go to AlisonArmstrong.com where you can see some of those trainings. And of course, YouTube has those all over the place as well. Alison is an amazing human being, and she has done work that I think is so powerful and so useful in relating. And we use her work in our work and in our lives. I think you and I are greater lovers because of what Alison has taught me and what I've been able to integrate into this, and because of who you are, literally the person who wrote the book on sex and happiness.
I am.
So
Alison doesn't talk that much about sex. I think she should read my book. Alison, I think you should read Hey, Alison, I think you should read my book.
I'll get her address and we'll send her.
Great.
Yeah.
I think you should read Sex and Happiness. You talk about understanding and you talk about how women misinterpret men and how men misinterpret women. And you read between the lines of the genders, but there's some pieces about sex that I don't think you get.
Mm.
So you're invited. I invite you. It's an invitation. I throw down the gauntlet.
So I think in the near future, we'll put together a book package for you and send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Love to have you read it and give comments. So we want to share with you some of those products that we absolutely enjoy and love. And please take a look.
Recently, you've probably heard us talking about one of our new favorite products, and that is this beautiful dispenser of Love CBD. We love this as a lubricant, but they call it
A serum.
intimate
serum.
Honey, pass me the intimate serum.
Oh my God.
It sounds so sexy. It does.
It does.
Anyway, we love the use of this product. Why?
The fact that it has 200 milligrams of CBD in it. Sometimes when having sex, especially in the ages that we're reaching now, there's a little bit of damage that can be done. And so what the CBD does is not only does it protect, it also relieves pain, and it has this component of being able to rebuild and to heal
Tissue.
the tissue.
We love it. So if you go to this website that you're looking at right now, golovecbd.com, you can get a 10% discount if you use our code
Sex and Happiness.
So go there and get yourself some Go Love CBD.
We love it. We think you will too.
Before we sign off, I want to talk about what Alison said last, which was we suck at, what was it? We suck at
Communicate.
communicating
Why
it's worth it. Why it's worth it.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk about that. I thought you were worth it.
Oh.
I did. I thought Michael was worth it. He gave me all his objections to overcome, like a sales thing. He said, well, I object because I'm not good at a relationship, and I object because I need my sleep, and I object because I have boundaries and I need a lot of space, and I object because I was sucked at a relationship before this and before this, before this. And I went, thanks for sharing. I thought you were worth it, and I'll tell you why, in case you don't know. I'll tell you why, in case you want to know, because you might want to look at somebody like this too. Michael had spent a lot of money and time getting trained. To me, that's like a really high value, getting education. And most of the training was in something like what you just saw. So it was around communication. And he invested a lot, and he's a really good communicator. Have you noticed? And so that's probably my number one value. Like in my life, all I ever wanted to do was listen and be heard. And so in my family, everyone talked at the same time and they interrupted each other and nobody quite listened. They just moved their own agenda all the time. And Michael doesn't do that. He actually listens. Sometimes he moves an agenda but he can be stopped. Someone could say to you, wait, stop. I feel like you're moving your agenda right now. Mostly you're a great communicator.
I think that the thing that we've learned recently about that communication style is that it's low context. And we'll
Let's
talk
talk.
about no, let's talk about it that in a whole other podcast. We're going to mention it. This has been
Anyway, this has been fun. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching. And we will be back with more beautiful content for you at the next Sex and Happiness.
Yeah, and let us know what you think of this format. Put something in the comments below, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell so that you can get notifications the next time we upload a video. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.